gotta feel it. You don't mean it. What you said right now. I gotta feel it. Gotta feel it. There's something about your eyes.
Welcome to the vlog. So today we are hiking from Floe Lake up to Numa Mountain. I'm not sure the stats on this one, but I'll let you know when we're further along the trail. All Trails has this hike from the parking lot, but we're actually just starting from the campground here at Floe Lake. It is a beautiful day for this. It started off pretty cold this morning, but now the sun is out and the lake is absolutely stunning. So I can't wait to show you what the mountain looks like, and I will update you guys further along the trail. So we've made it to the top of the ridge. We stopped for a quick little lunch break down by the wildflowers. It's super pretty. We didn't quite make it to Numa Pass because we just went up. How are you feeling, Michelle?
I'm tired. This is really hard. Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll continue onward up the ridge and then up around to Numa Peak, which is over there. I'm excited. I haven't done this trail before. How do you feel about it?
I don't want to go up there. We'll see. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned to see if we all make it. I'll see you in the next clip.
I'm confused. Internet's gone loose, so time is through. Making love at you, so I'ma sit and just lay in my bed with the thoughts in my head, getting stuck to the race with you. For a sleeping cruise, no. Stress is getting just a little bit lower. Mind's getting just a little bit closer. Find somebody in my life that can make it through. I'll be lost, I'll be found in the broken. A way out in the crowd, feeling open. Find somebody in my life that can make it through. That one's just me times two. That was just me. crazy, been thinking for too long now. Let it take on the world with two arms now. Got me singing right in the dark. No feelings I couldn't store. Ooh, and I swear I proved all the ways I'm here. Got my drink and trying to get what to do, yeah. I better fake it, yeah, we can work together till we make it. Better take a life like we're running out of patience. My mind's gone out way too far. Yeah, I'm not right, but I'm about to fake it. Yeah, we can work together till we make it. Better take a life like we're running out of pages. I know that times have been hard, but that's alright, cause we found home. Stress is getting just a little bit lower. Mine's getting just a little bit closer. Found somebody in my life that can make it through. I've been lost, I'll be found in the broken. Way out in the crowd, feeling open. Found somebody in my life that can make it through. That one's just me times two.
Hey guys, so we've made it to the top of Numa Peak. Oh my gosh, this one was a grind from the Floe Lake campground. I'll tell you the elevation for this one. It's 2,707 meters. Crazy. The ascent is 828 so far, and we've gone 5.2 kilometers. So if you can guess from those stats, it's definitely a challenge, but the only hard part, I would say the more technical portion, is there's like a cliff band back there along the ridge. I think that was the hardest part of this one. Otherwise, it's pretty much straight up the whole way. But yeah, we've reached the summit register and the views up here are absolutely amazing. I will see you guys in the after hike summary. It is also very, very, very windy, so bring something warm.
Work it.
Like a wave returns to the sea into the blue. They change but in a cycle that I can't lose. Each painful but delightful to live through. You came into my life just like another season.
Hey guys, welcome to my after hike summary for Numa Peak. So this was part of my Floe Lake backpacking trip, and I did not honestly do a lot of research on trails in the area at all before I did this trip. So I kind of like the day before looked at day hikes to do in the area. When I pulled up Floe Lake on All Trails, there was a lot of suggestions. However, a lot of them kind of involve the Rockwall Trail and day hikes that you could do when you're doing the full Rockwall Trail, which is like 50 kilometers or something, like 54 kilometers. I definitely thought you could do that one as a day hike. Like, I thought you could camp at Floe Lake and do the Rockwall and then come back. So I didn't really do too much research on the area, but there was Numa Pass, Paint Pots, and Numa Peak. And out of all of those things, Numa Peak was the one that stood out to me. I discussed it with my friends that were doing the backpacking trip with me, and they also were like, yeah, let's do Numa Peak. So that is the one we picked. I will go over the elevation gains and all of that with you guys. So this one was 9.6K with a 962 meter elevation, making this one more of a harder hike. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing this one if you are not camping at Floe Lake. If you're trying to do a day hike, this is a very, very ambitious day hike. Maybe if you trail run and you get to Floe Lake pretty early, you can conquer this one and then get back to your car by sunset, but it is a pretty demanding trail. You cannot trail run this part because there's a lot of rocks and all that, which I'll get into. So from the Floe Lake campground, this one takes you up to Numa Pass almost. You will actually gain a lot of elevation when you get out of the camp because it's pretty much straight uphill, and you honestly don't realize how easy this part is until you get to the base of Numa Peak. But I did not appreciate the first part of this trail, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of elevation gain already, but it takes you through some beautiful meadows, and it kind of gives you an idea about how the Rockwall Trail is going to be if you are deciding to do it in the future. And yeah, you gain a lot of elevation gain just getting out of the Floe Lake campground and up to the meadows on the way to Numa Pass. So we stopped in the meadows for some lunch, kind of enjoyed the view. Make sure you take in the views here. They are absolutely gorgeous. There was tons of wildflowers, and you get to see Floe Lake from a higher vantage point, which is really cool because there is actually like this little island that you don't see when you are at Floe Lake. At the bottom of Floe Lake, like on shore level, you don't actually get to see this little island, but there's an island that kind of divides the lake a bit. One side of the lake is a deep, like turquoisey blue, and the other side of the lake is a lighter aqua blue. So you can get to see this from this area. It was really, really cool. And then from here, you continue on up to Numa Peak. Now you don't initially see it, and there's different trails to get there, but the trail is pretty rugged and there's no trail markers or anything like that. I don't think that this is actually an official trail. It is on all trails though. So if you do have a map, there is ways to get there, and there's ways that you can follow along and stuff like that. And there's just not a very straightforward way to go, but you're basically going to climb this hill. And there's an easier way up the hill, there's a harder way up the hill. We picked the harder way. I don't know why, but we picked the harder way up. It just goes all the way up to the top of the hill. Once you are at the top of the hill, then you can finally see your goal, which is Numa Peak. And there is a beautiful ridge walk up there. It is super windy, or it was super windy the day we went. I don't know if it ever really calms down up there because there's really no trees to block anything. There's just a lot of wind. It was almost like a vortex of wind. It was insane. So the ridge walk was nice. Other than the wind, I'm not a huge fan of wind. I really am not. But yeah, once you get to the ridge walk, there is a little scrambly section, and just make sure you follow the trail. Make sure you have a map open because you don't want to fall off a cliff or anything like that. It gets kind of narrow in certain sections, and it gets kind of like, where do I go? Like, do I go right or do I go left? For the most part, I went right on this section in particular, and you basically have to go from the ridge and you go down, like all the way down. There's like a downhill path that is very, very visible. And then finally, when you're at the bottom of this downhill, you are at the base of Numa Peak. You've made it to the base of Numa Peak, and it's just straight up from there. It is straight up. It's really rocky. However, the rock is like almost like a talus rock. It's really grippy. It's not something that you're gonna walk forward. It's not like scree where you walk forward one step and then you go 2 steps back because you slide down. It's not like that. So for the most part, this is very easy to navigate. And when you get to the top of that, there's still more to go. You don't actually see the top of Numa Peak. I actually said you can see the top of Numa Peak from the ridge, but you can't actually. You can see the top of like the false summit. So once you arrive at the false summit, you obviously have to keep going. You can see the peak directly in front of you, and there is a few little technical scrambling sections. The crux of that mountain, I would say, is the hardest part because the rocks are kind of slippery here, and you do have to do a little bit of hands-on climbing here, which wasn't too terrible. You just have to kind of route find and pick the best way, and just, you know, don't do anything dumb. Don't go off trail or anything to try to avoid this because there's no way to avoid this. There is cliffs and cliff bands that you need to kind of go through. And then finally you get to a part where it's just straight up, a straight shot to the top of Numa Peak. The views up here are absolutely amazing. There is or was a glacier here a long time ago. There's actually like a little ice cave that's left, maybe like a little cavern or whatever, ice cavern underneath the rocks, something like that. It is super cool to look at, but yeah, it's really sad at the same time because I know that back in, you know, maybe 50, 60 years ago, this was a full glacial terrain, glacial hike. It's not anymore. You know, it's just rocks. So when you get to the top of Numa Peak, you can see the highway from like really, really far away. And you just see all the peaks, all the layers of mountains. This is one of my favorite hikes that I've done this summer. That is not a lake view. You do see Floe Lake from the top of the mountain, but it's not you know, it's not like a full lake view, and it's not as impressive as looking at Floe Lake from the meadow, for example, by Numa Pass. From up here, Floe Lake looks actually pretty tiny. So you don't do this one for the lake views, you do it for the mountain views and how spectacular they look. And yeah, it was so special. There is a summit register up there, so make sure you check that out. And yeah, that is pretty much it. We were super hungry by the time we got back to the camp, and I found this really amazing backpacking food, which I love. It's the Mountain House chicken and rice. It was amazing. I'm one of those people that rarely finish my backpacking food unless I really like it, but that was the best meal that I had in a while. So that was my experience hiking Numa Peak. I do recommend it. I don't think it's a very popular trail. I don't think many people go up there, but it is a beautiful hike, very much worth it. So that is pretty much it for this one. I hope you enjoyed. If you are not already subscribed, please go ahead, click that subscribe button below. I upload 3 times a week, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye.
I let you in deeper than I let anyone